Hello, Mission Pro family. Happy Tuesday. I'm Emily May, and I have a very special guest with me tonight. I have MJ Santana hopping on right away for On a Mission. I'm so excited to talk to you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. We're coming off like an exciting weekend of wrestling. I know we were chatting about that before.
Yeah.
Um, we're feeling it. We're feeling the energy. We're feeling the excitement of the weekends. How are you doing? I know you're at you snuck a little bit out of training
Right, exactly.
in order to join us here at Mission Pro. How are you feeling about what happened this weekend before we get to know you a little bit?
I'm feeling good. That pay-per-view from AEW was super fun. We split it amongst like 10 people, so it was like $6. And
Don't tell me that. No, just kidding. It's all good. I just, parties, right? You gotta have a party.
yeah, exactly. No, exactly. We were just us and our 10 closest friends. And we just sat there and watched it. We laughed through the whole thing. It was great. It was fun.
That's amazing. That's the best time. Wrestling, you got to enjoy with people. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, honestly, I like watching wrestling by myself, but I love it way, way more like watching it with like Shimbashi as my boyfriend or like all of our friends or something.
I mean, that's the best way. I mean, you just and then you get all the snacks. You get all the pay-per-view snacks.
Yeah, well, I bought the food, so
Oh, was it
spent a
healthy?
little dough.
Was it healthy pay-per-view snacks or you went
It,
all out?
I mean, it started off healthy, and then we divulged a little bit, or I mean, I did, but I'm working it off today. That's why I'm at training.
Good, exactly. Well, we got to get you back to training. I know it's a Tuesday. A lot of us had yesterday off, but yeah, I'm excited to talk to you because I gotta say hi to everyone. Front row is in the chat. Hi, front row. We have amazing Mission Pro fans in the chat, sponsors. As you know, we have Hard Days Night coming up on August 20th. And we're getting a head start. We're talking to everyone that's involved in the show. And not all matches have been announced, but I know we've dropped our poster. We've dropped some of our matches, and everyone is getting hyped up. Everyone's getting very excited about what's happening on August 20th. It will be in San Antonio, and it is for the Salvation Army, the Boys and Girls programs, the after school programs that they're creating and supporting for the communities there in San Antonio. It's a great cause. And so remember that we will be streaming Untitled Match, but it is in a new location in San Antonio. It is at the Salvation Army Mission Corps building, and our bell time is 6 p.m. And VIP entry is 5 p.m. It says right there on our little match graphic with Kylan King and Genocide. If you have not seen, that's one of our matches coming up. But MJ, we have a lot going on. August 20th, you'll be there. So how does that feel to get the call from Mission Pro?
It was absolutely amazing. I did not expect to get contacted by Mission Pro like this early, but I was super excited. I know Mia Friday, me and her are, outside of kayfabe, we're pretty good friends, and she was super excited for me, and I was just really excited to be on a show that she was on. Because I really, even though she's younger than me, I really look up to her, and I was so excited. Like, I'm still so excited. I'm checking the Instagram every day to see like who I'm wrestling, and I'm really ready.
I mean, so it sounds like you've been stalking Mission Pro's Instagram, which I
Oh,
love,
yes.
and Twitter because that's what it's all about. We work really hard to get awesome content out there. So you've been watching. We've had lots of. We have new tag team champions. Bougie Reality. Holodead
Yes.
is our Mission Pro champion, as you know, the
Yes.
champ of champs. And we have lots of very regular talent. Genocide, Kylan King. They're going to have this huge match on August 20th. It's going to determine, a number one contender match for the MPW championship. So we have a lot going on. And since you've been watching, is there anyone that is like your dream opponent right now, or someone that you're like, hey, I want to? It could be all of them if you want, but is there anyone that because you're new, but you're watching. And I
Right,
like that.
exactly. I think, well, my dream opponent for a hot minute has been Danny B. but I know she is set to wrestle. Oh, I forgot, but I think her match was already announced. I was like, oh, dang it. But and then I think next on the list would have to be Killing King, just because I feel like I could learn so much, even though she kicked my ass. But like I'd learn so much.
I mean, it's true. I mean, you learn so much from like every opponent that yeah, Danny B is wrestling Black Widow
Yes.
on August 20th. I had to remember as well. I had to look. Because we have a lot of talent coming in and out of Mission
Yeah.
Pro. So you have your dream opponents. So like you do learn something every time you wrestle someone different, and you're a little tiny bit over a year wrestling,
Yep.
7 months training, right?
7 months debuted, so
Oh,
7 months
7 months
on
debuted,
shows.
1 year
Yeah.
training, and every person. So you've wrestled Mia Friday. I saw you've wrestled Gigi Ray.
Right.
You've wrestled. You've been in tag team matches.
Mhm.
So, as someone new, like, how has your trainer taught you to take every little thing out of a match, and what do you bring into a match?
I think he kinda just breaks it down as, like, being able to think about it as, like, an action and reaction. So, like, with every action, there
Mhm.
has to be a reaction. And when you go into a match thinking about that and just that principle, it's a lot easier to kind of do wrestling. And then when I come face to face with different opponents, I really just try and like meld to their style because I'm so new that I don't really have that like style figured out, like my thing figured out. So wrestling a new opponent every time is like a new opportunity to try something different. And that's how I kind of get like I'm developing this like knowledge base just by doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of versatile wrestlers at Mission Pro. We have all types of styles. We have lucha, we have a little strong style. We have people that have traveled all over the world and take all of that experience with them. And so I'm like, what are you excited to like? Is there something you're excited to try? Is there um like you're still trying to find your style, so is there something that you're like gravitating towards a little bit more than others?
Yeah, I'm definitely gravitating towards more of that like technical striker, type of thing. But I have recently had a bit of an obsession with top rope moves. So
Okay.
we may see some of that at Mission Pro, but like by the end of the summer, I definitely am about to right as soon as we hop off, I'm about to go get the crash pad out and let's try some things. But
Nice. I mean, I watched a few of your matches from recently at Lions Pride Sports, and I was like, you're getting your chops in.
oh
You
yeah,
definitely
oh
were getting
yeah.
your chops in, and I was like, okay. And so there is always an opportunity to have a little chop night at Mission Pro. So just throwing it out there.
Oh yeah, and I remember it wasn't I don't think I have it anywhere. I don't know if it's come out anywhere yet, but I wrestled in Arkansas. I wrestled Phoebe and she lit me up and I lit her up and it was definitely chop night and that was a super fun match and I'd love to do it again. So we'll see some of that probably too.
Awesome. I mean, is there someone that has been your biggest challenge so far in the ring?
Definitely Mia Friday. I mean, we've wrestled so many times, and I've only been able to beat. I think we've wrestled over 8 times now from all of the not just at Lions Pride. Like we've wrestled at TASW as well, and we're about to wrestle at Turf Wars, which is in Uvalde. And man, like I've only been able to beat her like twice, so she's definitely the biggest challenge in the ring right now.
Wow. I mean, so you mentioned Uvalde. So is there, I heard there might be a show in the next few weeks. Is that the case? When's that
Right,
show?
yeah. I've it slipped my mind on, but it's Turf Wars, and it's in June, pretty sure. Don't know off the top of my head, but
Okay.
it is. I'll link it on my Instagram like as soon as we're done. But it's a benefit show for obviously what happened in Uvalde, and it's completely free for the community. All the proceeds are going to go to the families that were, disrupted and just that horrible tragedy. So I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to give some joy back to that community that they really need it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is like it's so heartbreaking. I mean, it's really close to home for a lot of us. Melanie, our production manager, Thunder, of course, they're all in San Antonio, which is right close by to there. I know many people have worked that show. Many of us know people that have been a part of that community. So it definitely is hitting hard. And so we're sending lots of love and support to everyone in that community and around the country that's hurting right now. But that's amazing. If you can send us more information, we would love to support. And I believe Melanie was going to go to represent Mission Pro as well.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. I'll definitely send it after this.
Okay, sounds good. So are you mostly in like the Texas scene? It sounds like you kind of have traveled all over Texas. You said Arkansas. Where else have you wrestled?
Yeah, it's really just Arkansas. I wrestled at Chaotic Kingdom with Mia Friday. We traveled, and then I wrestled at Ozark Mountain Wrestling a few weekends ago. I've traveled with some other Lions Pride people. But yeah, I'm really just excited to get out there. I'm looking at Oklahoma, I'm looking at Louisiana, like I want to go everywhere.
Nice. What's your dream city that you want to wrestle in?
Oh, who doesn't want to wrestle in New York, right?
Of course, Madison Square Garden.
Exactly. But I think my dream would be to wrestle in the Toyota Center in Houston because that's where I first saw my first wrestling show. So that's where I want to be.
That's amazing. I mean, you have to visualize those things.
Yeah.
Is everything good?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's all good. We're casual here. So you mentioned Mia Friday, outside of the ring is an inspiration to you. Is there anyone inside and outside of the ring that is an inspiration to you as you started this journey in wrestling?
Oh, of course. My boyfriend Shimbashi, he is just I honestly, every day at training, he teaches me something, and he hasn't been training for that long either. He's been training for like a year and a half. But he's just so like naturally gifted, and so like he has so much potential, and he eats, breathes, sleeps wrestling, so he's always got something to show me, and I just learned so much from him.
That's amazing. And then what have you learned from Mia Friday besides fighting in the ring? And I know you said 7 to 8 matches, like you've trained with her. I've watched some of your stuff and you've grown so much. Like every match, you're just like getting better and better. And so when you decided to start wrestling, did she give you advice? Did she say, hey, like, this is what I learned, like, take it with you?
Yes, we've had many talks. We've sat down and talked a lot, and she's always giving me like, "Hey, this is what I did. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. Like, here's some advice." Like, I don't know. She's just a wealth of knowledge at such a young age, and I definitely am taking advantage of it. I will listen to anything she says.
That's good. I mean, you have to have your support system around you. Like we've talked with lots of people on this show and on a mission, and like you have to have the people inside the wrestling industry that can support you and back you up, and then also outside. How's your besides your boyfriend? How's your outside system work? Like, what did your family think when you were like, "Hey, a year ago"? By the way, like we're gonna get into what you do outside of wrestling because it's so incredibly impressive. But it's just so opposite from what you do on the regular because you're still in school right now as well.
Right, exactly. Yeah. My parents, well, okay, so in high school I did amateur wrestling, and
Okay.
that was a hard pill to swallow for my dad, who's always wanted me to grow up and be a soccer star. So
Soccer didn't work out? Were you not good at it or you didn't like it?
I was a little bit too aggressive, which is why I studied
Oh.
wrestling. Yeah. So I was always getting like fouls and stuff.
Fouled?
So I was like, you know what, let me
Yeah.
just switch over to some combat.
Your team members are not gonna like that. They're gonna be like, "Hey, MJ, what are you doing?"
Yeah. So I switched over to wrestling, and I really I really pushed myself and tried to like really get into it, but I only started like my junior year, and usually that's like a 4-year type of commitment.
Mhm.
Um, and so when I got to college, I was like missing that part of my life, you know? And then my boyfriend started training, and I was like, well, I'm gonna start training too. And so I remember calling my mom, and I was like, hey, I think I'm gonna start like wrestling training. And she was like, oh, that's good, like an after school club. And I was like, no, no, I'm gonna have to drive 3 hours for training. And she was like, huh? Because
Oh
I
my
go to school
god.
in Dallas. So I drive 3 hours to College Station every week to come train here. And
Wow.
yep, she was like, I mean, if that's what you want to do. And then she told my dad, and my dad called me yelling. He's like, what do you mean you're gonna wrestle?
So you drive how many days a week for 3 hours?
So, okay, so it really depends on my class schedule. So this
Mm,
past
mm.
fall, I've only been able to go on Thursdays, so I've been only training 1 day a week. And then basically it's like get up, go to work, go to school, then immediately after my class we'll drive to College Station, and then whatever shows I have that weekend, immediately drive back for chapter on Sunday, and that's about it.
Oh my goodness. That I mean, any training you do, like, and I'm sure you do stuff outside of like wrestling training because you can do
Oh yeah, of course.
cardio and do all that. But okay, I I asked you what you were studying earlier because I was so curious. And you're studying biomedical engineering,
Yes, ma'am.
which is so incredible, and I want everyone to know all about that if you don't mind. And, like, I was a theater major, so I'm just, like, blown away by this. I could barely pass chemistry or bio, so, um
Yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely like a heavy course load. I remember my first day, they on orientation, they gave me the piece of paper that like has all of the classes you're supposed to take, and it's just like this huge flow chart, and there's like arrows going everywhere, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do? But yeah, biomedical engineering, it's basically it's engineering, but it's focused on like medical devices and just everything that has to do with like the human body. Um, and it is a lot of science classes, it's a lot of engineering classes, there's a lot of design classes, electrical circuits, like all of that fun stuff.
That's so incredible. And so what's your ultimate goal in that field? Is there like are there specific like when you become a doctor, like you kind of specialize in a specific field? Are there specific fields you can focus on when you're a biomedical engineer?
Yeah, right now I'm working for a biotechnology company, which is kind of like in the biopharm industry. And that's super fun. I've always kind of wanted to work on prosthetics though. That's kind of where my head is at. But another thing is I've always wanted to work at NASA. That's where my mom works.
Oh
So I've always
wow.
wanted to follow in her footsteps and work there too. So there's a lot of things I can do with it.
Wow. I mean, what does your mom do at NASA?
She's a systems engineer, so she manages a team, and recently one of her team's machines just got sent up into the ISS. So that was a big deal, and that was really cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Would you ever want to go up into space?
Absolutely not. Because my mom has worked at NASA, she's told me the many, many dangers of being in space, and it's scared me to my core. So you will never catch me in an astronaut suit.
Oh my goodness. So instead, you decided to take a leap of faith
Oh yeah.
and become a wrestler and jump
Yeah.
off the top rope.
Yeah, I mean, you win some, you lose some, you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. You're like, I'm finding you're finding the middle ground there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, whenever my mom is scared that I'm gonna break my neck in wrestling, I'm like, I could have been in space.
I mean, true. You're like, I
So,
could be on a rocket.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm the same way, honestly. Like, I was obsessed with meteorology and storm chasing and space
Mhm.
as a kid. And so all I wanted to do was like get into space. And I realized I hate roller coasters and anything that moves crazy up and down,
Ooh,
which a
yeah.
rocket is pretty much a roller
Yeah.
coaster. And I get super sick with any movement, any like I'll get car sick or plane sick or any other movement. So that was off my list. So Yeah, so I'm not gonna go on any civilian flights
Yeah.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna pay my 3 million to get up on that,
Oh, yeah. I mean, because we all just have 3 million
yeah,
lying
you
around
know,
and, you know.
that's
But,
that's so incredible that, like, so you want to focus on prosthetics. And so
yeah.
why that area?
Just because, like, okay, this is gonna be a really, really dumb answer, so prepare yourself.
Uh-oh.
But I am a huge Marvel fan. Like, I am a huge Marvel fan. I've seen every single MCU movie at least 3 times at this point. And then the ones I like, I've seen at least 10 times. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I have an Avengers tattoo. Like, it's my first tattoo. I don't know if y'all can see
Ooh,
it.
okay. Wait, hold on.
Yep.
Wait, let me
Oh,
see.
here we go.
Nice. I like
Yeah.
that.
But that being said, Bucky he's like Captain America's like friend or whatever. He's got the like metal arm. I always thought that was super cool, and that's what made me want to go into prosthetics. That is it.
But that's amazing. I mean, you're gonna be changing lives. Like, you'll be
I
changing lives.
potentially,
Yeah.
potentially, yep. If I get a
Or
job, that would be
or
that would be
or
great.
or creating the next villain, the next Marvel villain too. You could do
Exactly.
that
No,
too.
that's. I'm trying to create the world's next heels. Okay,
Yeah,
that's my job.
exactly. I think that's why you got into wrestling too. You're just gonna create the next generation of heels.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are a lot of parallels between like superhero stories and like wrestling. And so
Oh,
I feel like that's why
totally.
like my mind just gravitates towards like those types of stories, you know.
I mean, both areas are epic, huge
Yeah.
stories, and they're just, like, these epic journeys. I mean, think about The Rock and, like, all like, Stone Cold, like, all of these huge,
Right.
huge stories that are, like, multi-generational and span years. Like, that's the Marvel universe right there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always like, good versus evil, like good always wins or whatever. Like
Mhm.
that's just where my mind like likes to go. And so it's wrestling is really natural, like superhero stuff is really natural. Comes to me like air.
I mean, who is your ultimate, like, Marvel character, like, that you relate to? If you're like, "Hey, that is me in a nutshell." Is there a Marvel character that's, like, you?
I don't know if I relate to any of them. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I haven't found the one that I'm like, "Oh, that's me," you know? But, like, the my favorite has to be Captain America just because his, like, perpetual optimism is what I'm always striving for. So he's, like, my goal. Like, that's who I want to relate to. But, yeah.
Okay. And then how do you feel about the whole, like, Marvel, DC, like, those worlds?
Oof. I understand that the comics are a thing, and I understand that like DC comics, like some of them are gonna be better. Like The Killing Joke, that's a really good DC comic. But, but, but if we're just talking about the movies and you're a DC fan, I don't trust you. I don't trust you at all.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I feel like there are a lot of Mission Pro ladies that are into Marvel and to comics and stuff like that. So you are definitely gonna get along with everyone when you're at Mission Pro.
I'm excited.
And so do you ever like for Halloween, have you like done some or cosplay? I know a few people have done cosplay of their favorite superheroes.
Yeah, okay. So cosplay, no, because that would imply that the costume was good. um
Okay, noted.
yeah. So if you like, I'm sure it's out there on the internet somewhere if you're like doing a deep dive, but I definitely dressed up as like a Marvel like character at least once like every year in high school. So it was definitely a frequented thing.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so speaking of cosplay, on June 25th, Mission Pro is going to be at the Oklahoma City PopCon, and it's 90s PopCon. So the
Okay.
goal is for everyone to dress up, and we're going to do a Mission Pro show, and it's super exciting. And so we're going to be there June 25th in Oklahoma City at the 90s PopCon. We're going to have a panel. We're going
Ooh.
to have a panel of wrestlers and have like a little Q&A and lots of signings and fun, shenanigans on that day. So,
Sounds
I think
fun.
it's, OKC. I wanna make sure I get the ticket link right. I think it's OKC Pop. Yes, okcpop.com is where you can get tickets for the June 25th PopCon in Oklahoma City. And that's our the next show to Hard Days Night on August 20th, which MJ will be at. Um, yeah, and we can't wait. So besides studying biomedical engineering, you also are finishing up your final year, heading into your senior year of college, and which is incredible that you're doing all of this on top of it all. But you also are a president of your sorority, and so
Yes.
how is it being a part of a sorority, and what is that like to be president? Because that's a huge undertaking as well.
It really is. It really is. But no, my sorority, all my sisters are really amazing. I love every single one of them. They make it really, really easy to be president because being president is like it's I don't know, it's like a inside joke that it's like running a small company just because it's
It
like
is.
so many different things. But I have a really great team. Like there are vice presidents and stuff, and they do a really great job of making my job easy. So I can go off and wrestle on the weekends. So it's basically just, a bunch of planning and then sometimes I have to miss out on the events that I help plan, but that's all part of like the sacrifices you make to wrestle. So it's not like too much, but
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, it's
I'm yeah, go ahead, sorry.
no, no, I was like, it's amazing. It's like it's incredible to be in that type of leadership position. You're leading, a wonderful group of women that are leading in their own fields and studying and gonna blossom and go out into the world. And so like what areas and things of leadership skills did you or are you learning in that position? And what do you hope to take have you applied anything to the wrestling world or as you approach your internship?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, my first, like, real experience in public speaking was because of my sorority, and now I'm cutting promos and stuff. So, like, it just really translates, and I feel like so in our chapter room, we'll present and we'll have to make it like fun and interesting, or else like all of our sisters are just gonna go to sleep or like not pay attention. So you have to kind of engage them, which is kind of the same thing as like cutting a promo. Like you can't just be boring and you can't like just
Yeah,
kind of stand there and like
and you have
say
to
like, oh,
know
this
where
is
you're
me and
going.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I had a bunch of practice doing that, and then I got to wrestling, and my coach was like, "Wow, you're really good at promos," and I'm like, I wonder why, you know. um,
Have you thought about, like, bringing kind of some sorority-ness to your kind of wrestling style or your wrestling,
that was
look?
my first like idea for a character, like making it like an ultra sorority girl, and I might come back to that because I really still do like that character idea. So I might come back to that someday. You might see a gimmick change for me pretty soon.
I mean, as you like, I love talking to wrestlers in their first few years of, coming into the industry because it's such an exciting time. And so, as you're like developing kind of this persona that is MJ Santana, who did you look to and like how did you like research or dive into like who that person is, deep
Yeah.
deep in the heart as you're trying to like like not only learn technical wrestling and learn those moves, but like present it as a whole package.
Yeah, I really just looked at, AJ Lee and Candice LeRae.
Hmm.
Those 2 are kind of my biggest inspirations. Also, I kind of just, like, took a hard look at myself, and I was like, "What is myself dialed up to 10?" Right? So, I mean, I'm snarky, I'm sarcastic, I'm, like, naturally just kind of mean, but, like, in a fun
I
way.
don't get that
So
at all. You fit into a sorority then perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. So,
Okay.
yeah, so I just try to turn that up to like 11. Like, I just want to make it myself, but also, yeah, AJ Lee and Candice LeRae were huge inspirations.
Those are two really great examples of people in different parts of their career that can tackle different things as well. Have you thought of exploring different aspects of wrestling, like doing commentary, or have you tried other things besides wrestling?
Yeah, actually, here at Lions Pride, I was on camera for the first couple months while I was still training, and I have always had, like, a huge interest in production and, like, the production side of things, like editing and stuff like that. And I help out, like, once in a while, like, doing our, like, class reels or something, like, I love doing the, like, audio visual side of stuff as well. And I know I was just, like, talking to Mia the other day, we were talking about how it's, like, our dream, like, for a second to be the people that edit the, like, Titantrons and stuff like that. So, like, I might edit my own Titantron one day, I don't know, but, like, I'm still, like, very much wanting to be on the production side of wrestling as well because it's just so interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, I do both as well, just because I come from a producing and production management background as well. So, like, it's so important. Like, I would say keep that up, like, because it's so important. Because who knows when you'll have to edit like, you have to produce your promos at home or and edit
Right.
them and add music, and you might have to like be on the road and film something. And I think it's so important to have that skill. And so that's great. And I think you should keep that up. That's my advice to you.
Thank you.
I mean,
Definitely will.
we're always looking like at Mission Pro. We're always looking for women to be behind the camera and be camera ops and run sound and learn how to mix shows or edit. And like we're always trying to find people to be as well rounded as possible. So
Yeah. Here's
it's
a little fun fact. It actually just reminded me. So, like, for a second there, I was the only person, like, at shows to figure out how to, like, make the projector project, like, what we needed it to. So, like, when I first started, like,
that's
debuting and
all
I was,
you
like,
did.
on
That's all you
shows.
did.
Yeah, no, I know. They'd be like, "MJ, the projector!" And I would just, like, come running. But then when I started to be on shows and I was, like, getting ready and, like, putting my gear on and stuff, they would be like, "Where's MJ? Like, where's she at? The projector's not working. The show's about to start." And I'd be like, "Yo, chill out, chill out." And it's always just a one button, like
It's
always.
always one button, like you hold it down a
Yeah.
little bit. So this is what you should do. You should type up a little to do, like a little instruction sheet and say 1
Okay.
through 10, this is what you need to do. Maybe
Have
even
you
put a
tried
little
this? Have
picture.
you tried
Yeah,
this?
do a little
Yeah.
picture with like an arrow or diagram
Yeah.
and say, this is it. Hand it to them and say, all right, I'm gonna be in the back. Follow these instructions. Here's the 4 different options. If it doesn't work, then come find me.
Yeah, no, these last couple shows, they've definitely got it, but
Okay, good.
when I
I was
first
about to
started,
say.
it was very, "Where is she at?"
I think it's that
And
scientific mind. I think they're relying on that analytical mind of yours.
well, yeah, it was one show, I figured out how to work, like, exactly one light, and they were like, "Okay, she'll figure out everything from now on."
That's amazing. I mean, sometimes you just once they know you can do one thing, like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with that. I want all the responsibility.
I love it. I love to hear that. Well, I'm excited. Hopefully, we get like a really cool promo from you in a little bit once we announce the match. I
Oh,
hope.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So you've been all over Texas, and I'm sure you've had tons of road trips. And I
Yeah.
love to hear. We've talked to tons of wrestlers that have had wild road trips. So there's two things I want to ask. One is like, what's been your wildest? I'm sure you and Mia have been on tons of road trips, and perhaps had some fun adventures. So what has been your craziest wild story on the road? And second, what is like your go-to snacks that you put in your car when you're about to go off?
Okay, so I drive a lot. I drive 3 hours to training
Yeah,
every
you
week,
drive to
right?
school, drive to training, back.
You're right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I always have to have sunflower seeds and then, like, a 32-ounce, like, bottle of water to, like, counteract the sodium. Just
Facts.
because I, like I like, it's wake up, go to school, go to practice, right? So, like, I never get a chance to, like, nap, So I'm always, like, almost falling asleep, and then the sunflower seeds, like, keep me up because it's kinda like something to do. So that is the snack that I need in the car if we're gonna go anywhere.
Okay.
Um, and I'd say like, I don't know, the craziest luckily, we haven't had anything, like, dangerous happen to us. But I know let me think. So, I mean, it's usually just, like, me, Shimbashi, Zane, Valero, and Mia in the car, and Mia will be like, "I have to pee. I have to pee. I have to pee. I have to pee. When are we gonna stop?" And, like, Josh, Shimbashi, he hates, like, stopping. He just wants to, like, straight shot it, you know? And so he'll be like, pee at the next one, pee at the next one, pee at the next one, and he keeps going. And me and Zane are like, let her out, like, let her out. She needs to go. And so, like, I just, that happens like almost every time. It's all four of us. But like, usually it's just me, Zane, and Shimbashi. And then Mia is usually at a different promotion. But yeah, usually it's just Shimbashi being kind of a stickler and us like clowning on him for it.
Okay, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad of a story.
Not too bad.
I'm sure you'll collect some more along the way.
I
Um,
mean, hopefully not. I love uneventful trips.
I know,
That
I
is
do. I
everything
don't
what I
like
love.
any, we've traveled lots of roads here at
Right.
Mission, and so we have, multiple stories we could tell for another time. So some other fun questions I wanted to ask. What's your gym music playlist look like?
Oh Lord. So being as I drive so much, I got tired of music, which is like, how do you get tired of music? And so I switched to podcasts, and then I got tired of podcasts. And now I'm just watching like whatever YouTube. Like I splurged and bought myself YouTube Red, so it'll keep playing like when I close my phone or whatever. So I splurged and I got that, and I've just been listening to like random things. But I got back into music, and now I'm listening to like a lot of hyper pop, which is like I call it like ADHD music because it's just like all over the place. It's all over the place, but it like keeps me going in the gym because like I never get stuck on one thing because it just changes so much and each song is like a minute long. So
So what kind of podcasts were you listening to? I know a lot of people do like the crime
yep, that's
podcast. Is
me.
that it? Yeah.
Yep.
Those freak me out.
I know. I'll be listening with like Josh or something or Zane, and they're like, why do you listen to
Gory.
this? Like, it's so scary." And I'm like, "I just like need to know like what happens, you know?"
Especially when they have like the real audio tape of like people
Oh, I can't do
confessing
that. Like,
or something like
I can't
that.
listen to like
Yeah.
911 calls or anything like that. Like, they just always like creep me out, especially when it's like, oh, this person like definitely killed their wife, but let's listen to the 911 call of them like faking to be like distressed. Like, they always just like trip me out. I can't listen to them. So like whenever they play it, I'll just like skip over it and then get to the next part.
Mindrunner, welcome to the chat. Good to see you. So Mindrunner is a sponsor and friend of Mission Pro. He says spinoff to Only Murders in the Building could be Only Murders in the Ring.
Ooh, I don't know about that. I don't know
I
about
don't
that.
know. I don't know about
Let's
that
cross some
podcast,
fingers.
Mindrunner.
Oh
That
no.
got a little morbid. Some other fun questions. So you talked about your playlist for the gym. So if you could pick like one movie to watch for the rest of your like forever, what would it be?
It is a hard choice between Mulan and Captain America Winter Soldier.
Ooh,
Hard choice. But I think I might have to choose Mulan solely because of the girl power.
yes. Okay. All right. I like that.
And the
Do
fun
you
songs.
okay, okay. I was like, because they made like the action that like are you talking the animated
Oh no, the
version?
animated one with the
Okay.
songs. You
Okay.
gotta have the songs in there.
I know the songs make it. The songs,
Yeah.
make it. You talked about podcasts and music. So which show are you binge watching right now?
Oh, I am between shows, but I
Okay.
just started rewatching New Girl, and then I just finished Bridgerton, like the old timey one.
The old timey one. You mean just last season?
No, no, I'm saying like it's set like an old timey
Oh,
like
Bridgerton. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you like? I thought you meant like the old one. I was like, it was. There's only been 2 seasons.
No.
tired, you guys. That's okay.
No.
Wait, so you watched like the new season?
Yes, I did, and
Okay.
I watched it in like 2 days because I was hooked.
I mean, lots of people watch it in like a day, so 2
Yeah.
days is not so bad.
Oh, I mean, then I'm doing better than most.
For sure, you're doing better than most. Um, so talk about so in it's we're halfway through the year. It's June tomorrow. Um, we're end of 2022. I know the last 2 years have been really tough on a lot of us. And then we're heading into 2023, a whole new horizon, lots to look forward to. What are some of your goals? What are you looking forward to?
My goals? I think I just have a lot of, like, promotion goals, like,
Mhm.
I wanna wrestle here, I wanna wrestle here. Um, and then I have, like, of course, like, wrestling goals, like, I wanna be able to, like, do certain moves and, like, figure things out and just, like, those transitional pieces that you, like, really, really need to kind of, like, make it. Those are kind of my goals right now. I know personally my goal is like time management. I have a lot on my plate. I feel like this past year it was really hard, like trying to keep up with everything and like feel like I'm giving everything 100%. So going into this new year, like I'm definitely gonna try and like really like plan out what I'm doing and when I'm doing it and how I'm gonna be doing it because like yeah, this past year like the stress was eating me alive. But this new year, it's gonna be great.
I love it. I feel your energy. I feel your excitement. I feel like you can accomplish anything. Like you're so incredibly inspirational. I mean, I know you have graduation to look forward to next year.
Mhm.
Heading into your senior year, you have so much wrestling to look forward to. August 20th, you'll be here at Mission Pro Hard Days
Yes,
Night.
I will.
Tickets are available at missionprowrestling.net. We're going to be streaming on Title Match Network. We're so excited to have you. I can't wait to meet you in a few months, maybe sooner because we're in Texas. I'm in Austin. We're not too far away.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, we can meet somewhere halfway. I should come see you at a show. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, it's you're doing incredible things, and I know it's just the beginning for you.
thanks.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining. Is there anything else you want to share with our fans at Mission Pro?
Yeah, Clash at Caldwell is the show coming up this Saturday in Caldwell, Texas, for Lions Pride Sports. I'm MJ Santana Wrestling on Instagram. I'm MJ Santana Pro on Twitter. And I made my Twitter today, so
Yeah.
it's new. And I'm Mia Sargising on Facebook, and that's where you can find all my wrestling stuff too. Yeah, come see me.
Awesome. Do you have any merchandise or anything like that for sale yet?
I have pictures for sale at shows. I don't have a website or anything, so you'll just have to come see a show to get it.
All right. Well, everyone follow MJ Santana on socials. Get those 8x10s in person. You definitely have to bring them to the Salvation Army show on August
Oh, definitely
20th
will.
because we definitely go through Mission Pro merch mania because during intermission we sell, during intermission after the show we sell. And yeah, everyone's going to want to support you and hopefully pay off some of that school.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This was like, I loved meeting you and I loved chatting with you. Everyone go get your tickets for Mission Pro at missionprowrestling.net. Um, we also have tons of interviews on our YouTube channel. For every week, we do On a Mission. You can subscribe to us here on YouTube, follow Mission Pro Wrestling on all of our social platforms. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We have a TikTok. We're all over the place. So go follow us for behind the scenes content. We have some really exciting things planned and some exciting things going to be published on all of our social channels on YouTube. It's going to be so much fun. I'm excited to share it with everyone.
Yeah.
So thank you, MJ. I won't. I'll let you get back to training. If
Thank
everyone
you.
wants to follow MJ, follow Mission Pro Wrestling. You can follow me at Emily May Heller. And thank you all so much for joining us for On a Mission. We're going to have another special guest next Tuesday. And remember, follow Mission Pro on all our socials because that is where the fun is at. Thank you all so much. Have a good night.